Super Bowl goes. My wife in the crib feeding the kids liquid gold. We on a whole different mode. The kid that used to pitch bricks can't be pigeonholed. I cooked up more chicken when the kitchen closed. We gon' reach a Billy first. I told my wife the spiritual shit really work. Alhamdulillah, I run through them all. Hoey's home, all these phonies come to a halt. All this old talk left me confused.
Hi, welcome to JD Sports. I'm Jarrett Hood, that's Dwight. You can follow our personal Twitters at the show's Twitter page, which is @_JD Sports, EAGLES Eagles. I got the Underdog face on. Could not, I only work behind the smile, so I could not get one. But, you know, shout out to my mom. Printed a bunch of these off. Dwight, we're having an Eagles pep rally on Saturday at my parents' house. Eagles fans only. Sorry, I apologize.
It's fine. I don't want to go. I would never want to go to that.
They printed a bunch of these, like not just this one. They printed like the pug. They printed like the other. I don't know the different kind of dogs. I'm not a dog expert. I apologize. But so they printed a bunch of them. My mom did. So she's just gonna hand them out at the party, and we're just gonna.
She should print out the Cleveland Browns dog pound. You get it?
This guy right here, Doug Peterson. For everyone, Doug Peterson, trying to lead the Eagles to their first ever Super Bowl victory in Super Bowl 52. They're taking on Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick. They're 8th, by the way, together. 2001. Dwight, I was 11 years old. Can you remember how old you were first ever Tom Brady Super Bowl? I was 11. It was 2001.
2001. 13. 12, 13.
Do you remember where you
12.
watched it?
Yeah, probably at my mom's house.
I watched it at, he was a soccer player, indoor and outdoor soccer player, minor league, at his house. He's now a local police officer. I haven't seen him in a couple years, but nice guy. I was 11 years old. We are both approaching 30, and Tom Brady
I know what you're
is
talking about. I'm like 24.
still in the Super Bowl, by the way. So,
I'm 24, so
even if we
really
were,
hasn't been in that long.
even if we were only just 24, Dwight, it would still be a very long time from the time that we were 13 and 11.
Right.
We're going to get into all that and more.
Too much. All that and more. As you can see, he
EAGLES Eagles.
As you can see,
Dwight wanted the Cowboy symbol up, which he got it up, but
as you can see, this man proceeded to disrespect my house this week, but we're gonna let him live.
for 1 week and 1 week only, he was allowing this.
Hopefully.
So we do appreciate this for the show's sake. Dwight, we're going
Retribution
to
is
get
coming.
into a lot of really good things, including all of this. We're even going to get into that, some WWE for the people who are listening on SoundCloud. But first, I think it would be ignorant of me to watch sports the way I do and not address probably the bigger sports issue of the week last week.
So there was a lot that happened.
Michigan State athletics was caught up in a situation that Baylor athletics once was, that Penn State once was, and other programs. Michigan State had, with their just gymnastics alone, and we're talking girls from very young ages, from like 7 to ages of 20, 24. Dr. Larry Nance, he was sexually molesting these women, and he ended up being a U.S. coach as well for the Olympics. And so because of this, all the 120 plus cases that were reported, and I'm sure there was maybe more, all of them were pushed underneath because the U.S. Olympics would say that they were investigating, or Michigan State would say that they were investigating, or the local authorities would say that they were investigating. Outside the lines of ESPN, credit to them,
For once.
digged into more, and they found that 120 plus more cases at Michigan State in their athletic department was of some way, shape, or form not covered up, but not really punished. And that's including their football, basketball program, which are, obviously the money makers here. Now, that's not disincluding other programs such as hockey, baseball, and everything else. I did not read any of these things. Like I did read a report with the Penn State thing because that's close to our area, but I did not read much of this. So all I do know is the base, facts that came out.
So you're saying this is basically Penn State, but worse?
Yeah. I mean, yes. And I'm not trying to minimize one or the other. So I don't want to.
But I mean, the point being, Penn State was a huge deal, obviously, not just in
Penn
our
State was
area,
only in
but
Penn State was only including children, and it was somewhere up in the 170 range. They said
so. One sport. On
we're looking
at
We're looking at 170 range, and you're absolutely right. It was only one sport. Where this is we're looking at 240 that were just reported. Now, look, I'm not going to sit here because let me just move from Michigan State here, and we'll go back to them in a second. Baylor, last year we talked about that situation, and their coach fled, but the program still is running. Now, they did not win a game this year, and that's unfortunate for the kids who were there and did not do anything wrong, but it also kind of, from our side, kind of serves you right?
Obviously.
But that's not the fair way to look at it through a scope, and I understand that. So it's harder for me to just look at it from that way. Point being is, stepping aside from that, let me put you this way. Notre Dame is obviously, I as much as I am with the Eagles, I am more extra when it comes to Notre Dame.
I hate to see that.
I'm as extra at minimum. So I'm not privy to. I don't ignore the fact that they have their own police department. Michigan State had their own police department. Penn State has their own police department. Alabama has their own police department. Auburn has their own police department. The trend here is that these campuses have their own police department. The reason that they all have their own police departments is to cover things like this up. And for nothing more than the university is making too much money after athletics, and athletics are pulling people out of places that they shouldn't be. And then on top of it, having people like Larry Nance or, as you pointed to, Jerry Sandusky earlier with the Penn State situation, people who are not coming from bad backgrounds, from bad situations, doing things that they should also not be doing in bigger magnitude than just maybe, I don't know, stealing something from McDonald's, like a wide receiver maybe at your university possibly could do, or selling some kind of weed or something, running from the cops because he was drunk at a party. This is 10 times worse, and these are from people who are not coming from situations where they need to steal or anything like that, where they need to commit a crime to feed their bellies. So point being with that is, I understand that Notre Dame has. There's stuff probably in their closet. There's stuff in Alabama's closet. Yeah. There's going to be stuff in Florida's, obviously.
In professional sports. It's Florida
State. Right. And it's 10 times worse in college. I had this conversation with somebody who is a very reasonable human being, and they were able to kind of see it my way, but they didn't really at all because they said to me that they only watch college football. They don't watch the NFL because of the spoil, taking the knee, blah, blah, blah. Point being. They said they haven't watched the NFL in a very long time because they've always been overpaid, extra, blah, blah, blah. Now, and I responded to her was, well...
I never understand that perspective.
I never understand that perspective either because, one, we all get paid at maximum to do what we're supposed to do. We would fight for more money if our company was making more money off us. And two, these players are making money, one, behind the scenes. But three, things like this are happening. I mean, we're talking now, take Larry Nance out because obviously he in and of himself is disgusting and gross for 120 women from the ages of 7 to 24 be involved. But take him out. We're talking, yes, absolutely. We're talking football, basketball, baseball, hockey. We're talking those players. Okay, there is an issue that there was 120 cases put underneath as well. And so you're telling me they're not getting benefits for doing what they're doing because that player did something wrong. They're literally saying that coaches sat down, the head coach of the football team sat down with players who were talked about this and made them call their mom and talk to their mom about this, and that was the punishment. Right.
I'm not following.
Right.
I'm not following.
So and we're talking head coaches.
So wait, it's on the kids?
Not the kids who were molested. The kids who were molested went to the police officers. The police officers then went to the coaches, and the coaches handed out the punishment. And the punishment for one of these players in one of these situations was to call your mom and talk to your mom about this. I guess because, well, would you ever do? Would you want someone to do that to your mom? But look. Whatever, I guess, yeah, sure, I understand you, the embarrassment is 1,000 times really bad, but the fact that he got to play on Saturday is more embarrassing in my eyes. The fact,
right.
So...
I mean, I don't want to say this because this is dangerous territory, but I mean, I am who I am. And the very little I follow this, which has been very little, but everything that you said on top of that, it's kind of sound like this, I really don't want to say it, it sounds like it's a rink. Is this a rank? Like it's like an organization, a school thing, like something that is just known.
No, because it's happening. No, because I would assume it's happening on a lot of campuses. I'm not naive to think this is just happening on Michigan State.
No, right. And I get that, but I'm saying just because it's.
Do I think that there's a culture around theirs? Yes, because there was a culture around of people going to the Penn State authorities and saying, "Hey, Jerry Sandusky is doing this, and
there
was two investigators that ended up dead. At the Baylor situation, there was multiple times that people going to the authorities and saying this. I mean, we're talking 300 cases in that situation, and the authorities were saying, "Oh, we're taking care of it. It's under investigation. We're talking about it." Right. And it doesn't become the light until one person does. Look, the problem with this one is they literally were talking to, like, the U.S. Congress runs our Olympic Committee. Our Olympic Committee is literally run by our U.S. Congress, who was then the ones who had to investigate the gymnastic coach in Larry Nance, and they were just saying they were investigating it, but they were investigating knowing what was happening and then pushing it to the side so he didn't get in trouble. They were letting more. The issue here is they were putting more and more people in danger, and now we don't just say them. Now we look at it from the campus side of, like you said, there was a culture of some kind, like you said, a tier or whatever, but it's a culture of
it's a rank.
Right, it's and I look at it as just where we're going to push it to the side, we're going to push it to the side, and
that sounds like you're trying
women
to
and children are always put last in these situations, and I just until there is look, people said this about the Penn State situation, and I was not against it. People said this about the Baylor situation, and I was not against it. And people are saying about the Michigan State situation, and I think the only way to stop it might be this. They want to shut down those programs. They wanted them to shut down Penn State's programs for maybe 5, 10, maybe forever years. They wanted them to shut down Baylor's programs for 5, 10, maybe forever years. I think that shutting down Michigan State's athletics, bringing the gauntlet down on them, would show you, look, if you have something like this going on, you need to take care of this right now and stop this, because if they are going to be allowed to play football, basketball, baseball, gymnastics, if they are allowed to participate in the things that everyone else is allowed to, and they were doing these things and covering these things up, yes, obviously their culture is going to change, and this will never be tolerated at Michigan State again, we would hope. But I think we're not just looking for Michigan State here. I'm not just trying to change it at one campus. I'm not trying to be that naive. I'm looking at this as, Notre Dame, I said it myself, they might have something like this going on behind closed doors. We do not know. These things come to light, and in 2018, these things are going to come to light more often than ever before.
Look, I'm just going to say this. That perspective that you just laid out, that you want to kind of throw out on the gauntlet and just make an example, it's cute. It's not
understand it's not possible.
It not only is it like it's cute, it's commendable, like that's what needs to happen. It's not even that I think it's not possible. I just would say money talks, homie.
Well, absolutely, 1,000% understand that they have a contract with the Big Ten.
And unfortunately,
the Big Ten will not let that happen.
Not only do they have too much money, my point, going back to when I said this is sound like a rink, and like I'm just still
no one
stuck
survives
on
this though, right? Like
no.
like the AD has already.
When I say
retired.
that this is a rink, listen. When I say that this is a rink, and why it sounds so much worse to me is because you said it spanned multiple sports. Like it's not just. I'm still on this fucking Penn State versus this situation comparison where it's literally one sport.
Well, Penn State was culture too.
It's a controlled situation. With this thing, sounds like it's so broad and it spans different areas. Like it sounds like a rink. It sounds like there's too many people. Yeah. As in when we talk about the Penn State situation,
this was spread out across the whole campus. No, we agree here. We're talking. Maybe,
I didn't even say what I said. What are we agreeing with? I said with the Penn State situation, it was. Well, Joe Paul knew, or this person knew, maybe 2 or 3, I don't know, pick a number. 4 people knew. Okay, over here, hypothetically. But then over here with this situation, when you span such a broad area, which would be the whole school and the whole athletics program, that's saying to me that there's a ton of people that are involved with this.
1,000%
knew
agreed.
Something about it.
To clear up the Penn State thing, it's not that if it's just a couple people knew. The problem with the Penn State thing, the reason is because the entire board of committees knew. Like we're talking about 38 to 40 people knew what was going on at Penn State, and plus all the coaching staffs. So we're talking about probably another 70 people knowing. Plus you're talking about a couple players, so probably another at least 70 people. So we're talking about that many, but plus a couple of parents. Plus his wife, plus him, right? And that we're talking about just football. You're at, and that, like to narrow it down, you are absolutely right. You're talking to maybe 200 people knew about this in a 30-year span. Where with this happened over a 24-year span, and we're looking at maybe 400, 500 people probably knew about this. I mean, if you're talking in the last 10 years, they're saying from 2008 alone is what the 120 on campus of the other baseball, basketball, hockey. They're saying from 2008 to now. So
that's
what happened? What happened in the 10 years prior? What happened in the 20 years prior? What happened in the 30 years prior to that? Where the culture was worse.
That's horrible. Yeah, at that point, what do you do other than throw it on the gauntlet? That's all you can do.
But as I said, and look, I'm gonna honestly say this: when when people were defending the Penn State thing or defending the program, I was kind of like, I think the way that you show this is by maybe shutting the program down, but not forever. I was thinking maybe for 1 to 5 years, whatever they accepted. The Baylor thing, I thought just as bad, but it was in more recent times, and it was spread out across more people, and more people knew and covered it up. So I thought that, hey, ending their program wouldn't have been a bad idea either. And I think that, as I said about ending Michigan State athletics because of this, yeah, I mean, like you said, sure, it's commendable and all that, but I do have the understanding of there's too much money involved in it. There's contracts. But look, no one survives this. The AD has already retired. I think there's a couple other people that have already been fired and quit.
Saying, if you're guilty, you're guilty.
The head right, agreed. The head coach of the football team and the head coach of the basketball team will both most likely be gone, I would have to assume. And they both have been there for a long. Izzo has been there for a very long time, and D'Antoni, the head coach of the football team, has been there for a good while and made their football team a pretty respectable football team, while their basketball team has won a couple of national championships in the last 20 years because of Izzo. So I would hate. I'm not, as a Notre Dame fan, always, they were a rival. Michigan State is definitely a rival of Notre Dame's, but it's not. It was always like they were like the little brothers. Only the last maybe 5 to 10 years did they get to the point where they were really competitive each and every year, and a thorn in everyone's side. So it's hard and almost impossible to transition from that. Our condolences for everybody involved obviously goes out from JD Sports. And it's sad, it's frustrating,
it's
and
disgusting.
Like I
it's
said,
bullshit. It's gross.
If there's a way to change it and the only way to shut them down, then they need to figure out that way to do it, and they need to stop this. Not just there, but across all of America, across the entire globe. But the thing that we can control is here in America and our universities not covering those kind of things up. I don't care how good the athletes, I don't care as a Notre Dame fan, if they literally have to not play football for 2 entire years because they can't field a team because they are just getting scum players, then don't put them out on the field because they are doing things that they are not allowed to be doing. To transition from that in a very hard way. But we're underdogs, so we'll succeed.
Dwight's not an underdog. What's up?
Sunday, did not make it over to get to see you. I wanted to watch the Royal Rumble with you. I do apologize for that. I had some big things going on.
He's a bum.
True. My boy John Cena sung a fight song. Was that on Raw or was that on...
John Cena sung a song?
He sung the Fly, Eagles Fly. I'll show you the video. It's great. I think he might have did it on Raw then. I don't know. I saw the video this morning.
Boston.
I know, right? That's the... Like, everyone's freaking out about that. Boston doesn't like it.
I don't believe that.
I'll show you the video.
It wasn't on TV then.
It wasn't. Yeah, I don't think it was. I will show you the video. It's great.
That's weird.
He sung it, and then he said, "From the bottom of my heart, Philadelphia, good luck Sunday. I love you guys." And he flipped the microphone real hard and. Dun, 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 dun.
It's ironic coming from a man that's gotten trashed his whole career there.
And like you said, he's from Boston. That was actually the big. So when I saw the video, I was like, John Cena sings fight song, and I clicked on it, and I was like, well, he's from Boston, so he's probably trolling the Philadelphia fans. And then I clicked on it, and right when I clicked on the link, the first thing it said was Massachusetts native John Cena, and I was like, see? And so I clicked on it, and then boom, lo and behold, he's singing the fight song. Like, he was in it, too, and he screamed E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles. I mean, he was...
I hear that spelling one more time. I'm going to burn it down, like Seth Rollins.
So, speaking of, who won the Royal Rumble? My man, right?
Who's man?
He can't speak a whole lot of English.
Yeah, you're right. I figured.
Not Daniel Bryan, but was everyone doing this when my man won?
I don't really remember.
Yes,
no, I think they were just freaking out. I think they were just freaking out.
So was he late into it? Look, I didn't get to watch it, so give me a little recap here. Was he early or late into the Rumble?
He was kind of mid-ish.
How'd he do? He was just throwing people out left and right?
No, he was
chilling.
All right, we're talking about Nakamura. Just got thrown out there.
Nakamura.
No, he was kind of like he came in strong. The Philly crowd was good. That's the one thing I'll give y'all is that they top 3.
Now they usually are, right?
Top 3 wrestling wise in the nation.
Because they're just insane.
No, because they pay attention and they care about the product. Not even that. And that's New York. That's Boston.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Philly. The top 3. LA's in there too. Like Chicago, like the bigger
cities, because you got to give them the best.
Huge, especially because Philly, and that's ECW time. That's
all right. So I know that you're not.
That was their town.
All right. So I know that you don't want to go to Philly for an event. So next time they do this Sunday Monday thing, can we go to DC if they do it in DC or something like that? Can we?
No, next year they're doing it in the Rumble will be.
Why don't we?
Arizona?
Let's go to SummerSlam. Let's go to Mania. Let's go to something.
Mania's going to be in New Orleans.
All right. So where's SummerSlam?
I don't even know.
Well, let's do something. Something's got to be close to us.
Anyway, getting back to the damn event.
JD Sports.
I assumed Roman was going to win. To the shock of the entire world, he did not. It came down to Nakamura, Roman of all people, and John Cena.
And so it was literally
a guy that everybody wants to get behind, and he's new versus 2010 and a guy that nobody cares about.
Now, did this happen? I'm guessing the Ladies Royal Rumble happened before this.
You would think, but no. So, it came down to those three. Nakamura shocked the world. Philly lost their damn minds, as they should.
As they should.
As they should.
Because?
Because...
The Underdog won.
No, but, because he's a wrestling...
Underdog.
Can't wait to my retribution when y'all lose. No, because the wrestling community just adores this man.
Yeah,
he's a great wrestler. He's a great fighter. He's solid. He's charismatic. He has a great character.
Before you go further, right? I want to give you credit because I remember sitting with you, and it was before his first ever event in the WWE, and you're showing me videos of this guy, and he's coming on later, and you're like, he's going to make his debut tonight, man, I'm telling you, he's going to make his debut, and you're telling me how he's going to be the fan favorite, how he's going to be everything he literally is, because you were talking about how he made this persona from across the world, and he came here, and wrestling fans loved him, and outside of a couple of matches, how much could have they actually seen him on top of it, which is even better, and he lived up to his hype and more.
And in fairness, I'm not a freaking follow of Japan. I mean, the New Japan company is the second after WWE. They're the second biggest promotion in the world.
Who was he wrestling?
I don't follow
made him famous. Who was that rivalry he had against?
Well, that's the funny thing.
AJ Styles, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't follow their product all that well.
Punk.
So
CM Punk.
No. So the fact that I literally just saw one match of his, and it was the 34 minutes or something versus AJ Styles at their WrestleMania, the equivalent. Which was like, I guess now 2 years, Jesus. I just knew, like, he's just too damn good, right? So what's the damn thing?
They cut him down, they bring him up, he wins the Rumble.
Mm-hmm. But to answer
previous question. So that was earlier? Before the women's match?
That was the men's Royal Rumble started at 9 p.m. It was the third match on the card.
When did the women's match start?
It was the, quote, main event.
Who won?
Okay, before I get to that, because that's going to turn into a whole rant. Nakamura won. He said he wants for his opponent, he wants to face AJ Styles, who's the champion. So it's going to be Nakamura versus AJ Styles
at Mania.
Makes
sense.
It's a wrestling fan's
wet
dream. I'm so in.
Good job, WWE. Give them credit.
I'm going to have to take off. I'm going to lose my damn mind.
I'm going to be there. I'll be here for it.
I'm so in.
Give them credit. Give them credit.
They messed up Raw 25, but they deserve credit for that. That's
all right.
That's pretty fantastic.
Now, they're going to lose points here. Explain.
And you know what? I don't even. You probably didn't even see this, but I was in a little conversation with the Social Justice Warrior on our JD Sports Twitter page, and this was before anything even happened. Before the Women's Royal Rumble even took place. I said, I don't know if you can, in Philly especially, have that be the main event. Typically, wrestling is just a male-dominated sport. It has been forever. It's just what it is. The women's side of it has kind of been like the carny side.
It's a male soap opera, as you put it. So
right. It's mostly male fans.
Yeah.
Adults, teenagers to adults mostly. Right? That's the majority. Well, I said, I just don't know, especially with a pro wrestling crowd like Philly.
Right.
I don't think you can close out with that. Especially when you're coming off a hot Nakamura win, which everybody wanted. People lost their freaking minds about.
Yeah.
That was over by 10 o'clock.
Okay.
You still had another hour and a half. Yeah, the crowd died off.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There was like 4 or 5 matches afterwards. Completely dead, completely silence. They were exhausted.
Until the end.
And even so, it was kind of They didn't really react because, and this is where I was trying to get.
Everyone knew it was coming.
With the social justice woman that tried to come at me, I said, I don't think that a Philly crowd can handle this, or wrestling crowd, period. And I was like, WWE is forcing their hands. They're forcing the importance onto us.
Yeah. You can't do that with anybody.
Because it's the first one ever. I said, I feel like they're forcing the importance of it. She proceeded to respond to me on our Twitter page and said, tell that to my little girl who's dressed up like her favorite female wrestler. Number one, nobody's talking about your 5, 10, 6, 7,
We're also
8-year-old.
not disregarding one human, but we're also, we're looking at how many millions of wrestling fans here.
Number 2. Number 3, we're in Philly. It's a pro-dominant male.
You can't look
Philly
at it from the
crowd.
perspective of just yourself. You have to try to take the prism of everyone else here. And that the prism of everyone else here is obviously, as you said, it is dominated by another aspect right now.
Yes, the men fans care about women's wrestling. And it's gotten better, but that is not the main event of the Royal Rumble.
The UFC capitalized on their women's wrestling because they're women's fighting because they were the most popular of them. Right. The most popular wrestlers are the males, though.
Right. And I don't think that's ever going to change. Women's wrestling tends to be a little sloppier. It just tends to not. The stars
and it's getting
aren't as big. They're just not as big.
It's also
stars.
Getting extremely better.
Yes, absolutely. That's why this happened.
But it's also in the division is not near as big either. The catalog to select from is a third, maybe a tenth of it, maybe a fifth of it.
Bruh. It's a 30-woman Royal Rumble. About at least 10 to 12, I don't know.
We're old women.
We're legends, the older people that they brought back for this, because there's not enough to fill the gap. So that should tell you something. Nobody was talking about your little girl. Who won the women's Royal Rumble? And I proceeded to tell her that she was a typical female feminist justice warrior who missed my point and missed my other tweet that said that this is a good time for this. This is the time to do it, but I just don't know if it holds up.
We're excited that this is happening. I think it's a great idea that they're going to have the women's Royal Rumble.
I did proceed to block because I was like, fuck you, you're not worth my time. Just saying.
Anyway, so here's how they should have done this before we get to any further, because if anybody hasn't noticed, he's wearing a Ronda Rousey shirt, so I'm going to pop that bubble real fast. But we'll get there. What they should have done is they should have had a couple of matches, the women's Royal Rumble, the Rousey situation, a couple of matches, the men's Royal Rumble, and ended it that way. Anyways.
Easily.
So who wins the women's Royal Rumble?
Asuka won. So you had 2 Japanese people win.
Yeah, okay, I was going to ask you that. I thought I saw that. That's awesome.
That's huge.
That's a great night.
She was actually the one that I picked, Asuka, surprisingly.
When did she come in?
It was kind of the mid situation. Okay. Yeah, it was kind of mid-ish. And maybe a little later than Nakamura was.
So who is she going to fight at WrestleMania now?
It's still up in the air what's going to happen in that situation.
Because
immediately
following
90 seconds after she won and got 90 seconds to celebrate,
all 3 of the champions are out. Just standing in the ring for no reason.
Cool, both of them, and next thing you know, a theme song hits and Ronda Rousey comes out, and it was like, that kind of took the piss out of that.
Yeah.
Alright, word.
It does.
So, okay, I just need...
You love Ronda Rousey, so she's going to be your favorite wrestler.
Right. And that's cool, and people want to shit on it. But I need not only social justice warriors to understand, but I need wrestling purists to understand. Number 1, social justice warriors. Ronda Rousey.
Wait, is she going to be a...
Yeah, she will actually be.
In the WWE community?
Oh, yeah. Not
Underdog for the people on SoundCloud. I'm keep picking up an Underdog mask.
Not only because wrestling fans are going to... Like, if she thought UFC fans suck, WWE fans are going to destroy her.
Yeah, they're worse, right, for sure.
But social justice warriors, you want to make a big deal about, women's Royal Rumble, you can't talk about my daughter.
But then they cut it off right away.
They cut off the importance right away. Didn't
care about that.
They brought in all these legends to destroy that, and they're the only ones that got reactions, mind you. Number 3, didn't you bring in Ronda Rousey? And it was just like, oh, well, that took the piss out of that importance. So then wrestling fans, because they were losing their mind, and they were mad because it took away from the Asuka's moment, they don't understand WWE was... That was clickbait. That's clickbait, bro.
Yeah, that was all, yes.
The funny thing is, when the women's match started, it was a side camera angle, and they tried to avoid it, but I saw it. I was like, that looks like Ramona Shelburne. And I was like, Ronda Rousey's there. It was real brief. Like, she wasn't facing, like, the camera's like here. Yeah. She was like back here in the front. And there was just one weird angle. I was like, that looked like Ramona Shelburne. I was like,
ESPN was there. Right. And
I guarantee you she was the one that tweeted it immediately.
We're not against this. We're agreeing on this one. The entire thing, the second it happened, ESPN had a clip up of her coming out. They didn't even say who won either Royal Rumble.
Which is my point. And that's not WWE, that's not their fault. They did what the clickbait's going to be.
now, so
took the piss out of
wrestling fans
Asuka,
okay with her being with Ronda Rousey coming to the WWE?
To WWE's credit, again, surprisingly twice in one night. What a concept, right? They did the right thing because the rumor was she was going to be in the match. And if she would have went in and won the damn thing after being...
They would have killed her.
That would have sucked. But I'm glad it was after the fact. It still kind of took the piss out of Asuka.
But are fans are fans against her? Because here's the one thing I do want to...
She's getting cheered for now because of the name recognition, but I also already saw on Monday night that she got a little boo, even though she didn't come out. There's going to be some resentment because they're purists. They want people to go from the bottom and go to the top. That's how wrestling fans are.
The thing I do want those purists to understand, and this is from an outsider perspective of somebody who watched it as a kid, she's a fan. She's a really big fan.
Right.
And this is an opportunity for her to be involved in something that she loves. And you love, and those wrestling purists love, far more than something that I sat down and loved. You know, if I had a chance to be part of the Philadelphia Eagles, I would do absolutely anything I possibly can. That's something that she really enjoys in that sense.
The fact that she was that, and the fact that this is a multi-year deal, that's only going to help her cause.
Just like you,
she still needs to come out swinging.
Just like you, just like me, just like all of them. She created herself as a wrestler, as in the WWE games, in the NWO games. Remember the old N64 NWO WCW games? You know, you're right.
And to the people that are saying that this is a joke, I'll credit Bubba Ray Dudley, who's now a Hall of Famer, because the Dudley Boys are now in the Hall of Fame as of this year.
Good for him.
He has his own podcast, and he said to the people that are shitting on this, they need to realize Amanda Nunes and Holly Holm, they wish, and I agree, they wish she was in her spot.
Oh my gosh, the money she's about to get,
not only is she probably not getting hit for real,
her body's going to save herself, she's going to make a lot more money.
And she has national spotlight
every
single week for however many years this deal's going to be. Of course they freaking.
They're also going to get a lot more,
and she's going to have fun on top of that.
And so, to your point though, the clickbait thing.
Yeah.
ESPN covering this in the second TV, they had more people watch on Monday because that weren't going to watch because Ronda Rousey was going to.
Maybe and then WWE played them and just played a replay, and I was like, huh.
But
I'm glad
eventually, when she's there, people will be watching because of it.
Absolutely. That's ratings. So, shout out to her. Shout out to WWE. Overall, it was a good pay-per-view. It was solid. They actually did the right thing, quote unquote, as far as my fans' perspective side for once. So that's good. It was a solid show. It was very good. I give it, I don't know, 8.5. It was very good, especially in recent years and how they did Philly dirty a couple years ago with Roman winning and they booed him and The Rock out of the building.
Yeah.
They made up for it. Good for them. I'm excited. You got Nakamura going against AJ Styles. Huge. Ronda Rousey's coming up. Don't know what the hell's going to happen with that.
So
Asuka's in there and Braun Strowman. Like, it's a good time to be a wrestling fan. It's WrestleMania season. It's going to be great.
Moving forward.
It's that time of year, bro.
Jericho going to come back anytime soon?
He was at Raw 25 for a cameo. He was at the Rumble, surprisingly. He's still kind of doing... he's still Underdog... Well, maybe. I don't know. Probably. He's still on a contract with WWE, but he's still doing here and there with Japan.
Well, okay.
Which he was just at their WrestleMania.
All right.
And he was like, I think it was the main event, if not the co-main event.
All right, my man.
So,
cool.
Apparently it was amazing, especially for his age. Everybody raved about it. I still need to watch it.
I'm a huge fan of my man Jericho.
I'm about checking it out. But he'll be back. He'll be back probably for Mania. Before
we get to the underdogs, anything else you want to talk about with wrestling?
No. It was a solid weekend. Oh, real quick, because this is going to actually transition perfectly well. Shout out to you bum Philly fans.
They were yelling at Tom Brady.
WWE was there from Friday through at least Monday, if not Tuesday.
They yelled at Tom Brady every night?
At least Friday night, and there's a clip of it.
I saw it. And
I was like, really?
You know I like Tom Brady.
Throughout Monday Night Raw, they were saying EAGS, like that stupid chant.
That's cool.
No. But, I mean, even during the Royal Rumble, I think it was Rumble or Raw, one of the two, there was a big giant green neon sign with F Tom Brady. I don't know why WWE didn't take it out because they're so PG. And
they actually said the word?
No, it just said F.
Oh.
It just had a little F. But I'm still surprised because it was clearly in camera view several times.
Yeah, I mean,
Shout out to y'all. Y'all are some bums.
When I was at the Sixers game a couple weeks ago, and it was the week that they won against Atlanta going into the NFC Championship. At the Sixers game, I got that E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles chant. We got that going probably a half a dozen to maybe 12, 15 times. Maybe, I don't know. But
obnoxious.
so I could understand.
Did you get the F. Tom Brady chant?
No, I'm not. That's not me.
But then they chant it?
No, because it was going to the NFC Championship, so they were playing the Vikings.
Now they running wild, brother.
So, my next jersey, I would like it to be, if they win, a Malcolm Jenkins one with this patch, with the Super Bowl patch. But the jersey after that. I'm getting number 14 Doug Peterson jersey. He was the backup for the Eagles back in 1997, 1998 when they drafted Donovan McNabb. He was actually started the first 6 games of that season.
Why in the blue hell do you want that?
Because his second year as a coach,
So?
he deserves some love. He deserves some love that I did not give him. No, I want to. Before we start getting into all of this,
sounds like a Philadelphia fan.
Let me
get the coach's jersey who is doing something now. Didn't do a whole lot when he was a player, but let me just represent. Sounds like, oh my god. Oh, when is this over? My god.
Oh
my god. I'm listening.
Not against them hiring an Andy Reid protege when they fired Chip Kelly, because I was not really fully sure who the best candidate out there was.
Yeah.
Doug Peterson has lost 2 games at home. That's it.
You can get his jersey. You know how much that's probably going to cost you?
Nothing.
I don't know.
Probably a lot.
See, it's one or the other. There's no in between.
Right.
I promise you.
It's fine. And that's a one way down the road. I'd like to get the Super Bowl one with the patch for Malcolm Jenkins.
You sure you don't want his Super Bowl one?
Yeah, haha. Jordan Hicks is my favorite Eagle, but he's not playing, so I'm not going to be able to get his with the Super Bowl patch. I would get a Wentz one, but he's also not playing.
What if this coach loses the Super Bowl? You still want his jersey?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see them be in this for half a dozen years, hopefully. So, you know, not in the Super Bowl, but in the run for the next 5 to 6 years. You know, you look at Dallas and the Eagles next year. We would think is the Eagles playing a number 1 schedule, so that's going to be a little difficult. That gives Dallas a little more opening. But
I have no idea what's going to happen now.
Right, agreed. But I'm saying Dallas and the Eagles. You know, you would expect those to be the teams fighting for a while.
Yeah.
And as an Eagles fan, I'm hoping it happens for another 5 to hopefully 10 years. But let's get through this weekend first.
Let's.
Dwight. We'll do our picks at the end.
Okay. Sounds like a vacuum cleaner in here.
It does, because this is running. Really cool. Shout out to my parents letting us borrow this for the show. Shout out to my mom printing that off. Shout out to my mom printing this off again, the dog face.
Yeah. Shout out to you. Yeah.
Tom Brady playing in his 8th Super Bowl.
What's this man doing right? Is that... oh my god. If you can't see it, it's Underdog, the old cartoon, and it has a Philly. Oh my god.
Well, they're printing shirts of this. Lane Johnson's printing shirts of this, giving it to charity. The NFL is also printing some shirts, giving it to charity. Tom Brady, so the reason I'm holding these up.
This is a charity case.
Tom Brady's playing in his 8th Super Bowl.
Sure is.
Bill Belichick's playing in their 8th Super Bowl. I don't care what anybody says. The Eagles are obviously underdogs. Tom Brady can try to convince you all he wants that they're not.
Tom Brady says a lot of nonsense.
Do you think Tom Brady, if he wins his 6th ring in 8 attempts, is the best team athlete of all time? Michael Jordan's known as the greatest team athlete of all time, right?
Sure.
Him,
yeah.
maybe Bill Russell, because Bill's 11 for 11 in championships.
Right.
Like, I'm talking Olympics, I'm talking college, I'm talking high school. My man has never, and I'm not a Bill Russell fan, obviously he's a Celtic, but I respect the guy because he is literally, he has never lost a do-or-die game. He was 14-0 in do-or-die games.
Right.
11-0 in the NBA championship.
It's gross.
He has 11 championships.
It's gross, but nobody talks about him.
Because back then, the difference between what Jordan and Kobe, the Spurs, LeBron, and Golden State people going forward. The difference is the free agency and the draft. I mean, you were able to pick whoever you wanted to, and there was no free agency. Less teams, less rounds, less games.
Less flashy.
Nothing against him. He was dominant for his time. So
that's just what it is. Less eyeballs.
There's people who will absolutely all day as well argue that he is the greatest team athlete of all time.
I always say, okay.
It's hard. It's a very hard argument, my man. Like I said, I understand he was 14-0 in do or die games, 11-0 in the NBA championship. But okay, take him out in the modern era. We'll say Michael Jordan,
right.
Tom Brady, Tiger Woods, Serena are the most dominant I've ever seen. But neither of them, they're individual on their own. So I'm talking team athletes.
Right.
Jordan had to play defense, so I will give you the little difference there. Jordan retired 2 years and gave Houston Rockets maybe 2 championships, or maybe he wins 8 or at least goes to 8, possibly. You can't rewrite the history books, though. It is what it is.
Yeah.
If Tom Brady wins this game, though, is he known? I look at Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time, and I mean Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time. So you're looking at these two players as the greatest of their own.
Right. But of the two, are you asking me which would be greater? I mean, I guess from a technical standpoint, you would have to say Brady because it's probably harder to get to a Super Bowl, especially like he's been doing.
Agreed.
It's definitely easier to dominate the NBA, I would say.
The two things I was going to
it is to dominate the NFL. I would still go Jordan because Jordan's number one, and then it's the field, but.
So
that's not dissing on anybody.
No, right. It's not a bad thing. If you end up second to Michael Jordan, you're not really ending up second in too many arguments. Though.
Right, but I mean, if somebody were to argue it, and especially if he does win again,
okay.
What am I going to do? I'm going to shrug. I'm going to say, yeah, all right, whatever.
Here's where, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I guess I would probably pick Brady, but I'm hearing the side of Jordan all day on this one.
I never say no to Jordan, so.
Right, I understand what you're saying on that one. And again, with the Bill Russell thing, it's kind of hard to argue. So, but with Brady, the counter that would be said with him would be, he has spent half of his career in the AFC Championship. He has spent 7 straight years in the AFC Championship, which nobody else, no team has ever done that. No, and he has individually done that. He has spent half of his career in the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, 3/4 of it in the AFC Championship, half of his career, and so he's been eligible for 16 Super Bowls. He's about to play in his 8th.
He also never took a break, in fairness, if you want to do the
Jordan
thing.
For sure.
But yeah, the point still stands. It doesn't matter.
Came back from an injury.
Came
back from a torn ACL.
And he still almost won. He does some shit.
He came back and had 2 years later had the greatest season of all time up until that point, until Peyton Manning a couple years later. But the greatest quarterback season of all time happens 2 years after he tears his ACL.
Is that the year that they went undefeated until they went to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, he tore it in He tore it in 05.
Nobody clowns that anymore because he proceeded to win 2 more Super Bowls.
Yeah, I mean, what have they done? So now
he's in his 3rd since then. I don't even know. I've lost count literally.
Since what, the loss?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's been
since the second loss, yeah. That was the first one. That was 07.
No, I'm saying this will be his 3rd since that loss, or
since the second loss. Since the 07 loss, this will be his 4th, but this will be his 3rd. Well, he's played in.
You were missing the point. Okay, since the undefeated season when they lost, right?
Okay, yeah.
How many Super Bowls has he gone to since?
This will be his 4th one. He lost one and played in 2.
Jesus. All right, I thought it was only 3. He's been to 4 since then. That's why nobody talks about that.
He played in 3 prior to that.
Right.
Got hurt. He played in 2004, won the Super Bowl. Got hurt in 2005.
That's ridiculous.
2006 recovered. 2007 undefeated.
Yeah.
Lost. 2008 losing the AFC Championship. 2009 lose to the Giants again. Win it in 2013, 2015, and now maybe 16. Or no, I'm sorry.
Whatever.
But you know what I mean.
Only he knows this information. It doesn't matter. Point being, the fact that you could come back from that and then proceed to go to 3 to 4, 5, 6, 7 more Super Bowls on top of that, that's insane and disgusting. I tell you what. I keep saying, we've been having this conversation. Who's the greatest NFL quarterback? Who's the greatest NFL player of all time? Maybe. I always just shrug it off because, and I stand by that too. Same thing with the NBA argument, which is, I don't know anything about past.
Prior.
Right, and I respect that enough.
Okay.
I still contend that Jordan is the greatest. And it's not just because of championships, there's a million other things, but I think if Brady does get this one, I don't know, just something about if he gets this one,
It's
I might
hard
just
to
have to
argue.
say, you know what? Yeah, he
might be the greatest athlete
like this,
of our time, maybe of all time.
NFL wise, I'd say
For sure. So to
like
me,
I won't just shrug it off anymore.
Let me
I'll just
put
be
it to you
you
this
know
way.
what? Yeah,
I always say to people,
which is gross to think about because he should be, but
Jerry Rice at the age of 40 had over 1,000 yards in like
he was the greatest athlete.
ridiculous, like a ridiculous amount of catches and double-digit touchdowns at the age of 40.
That's athleticism.
But the 2 years prior to that, he did not have good years. Tom Brady has not left the MVP elite level every year he has played. That so like in less of an athletic position, still taking the shots, still taking the hits. Also to the year prior stuff, you know, you look at Aikman started off 7-0 in playoffs. Brady started off I think 9-0 in playoffs. That's the greatest. When you look at Super Bowls, you know, Montana was what 4 for 4, and then you know Brady is now 5 for 7 playing in his ace. So when you're looking at like
damn good,
right? It's hard to argue because he has the passing yards, he has the touchdowns, he has the low interceptions, he has the high completion rating. Like he's not number 1 in anything, but he's also top 5 in all of them, and that's what makes it hard to argue when it comes to him and with everyone across the board. Belichick, I think. Look, you could talk about Lombardi. You could talk about New Rockney. You could talk about.
I don't know nothing about Lombardi. So.
You could talk about, and why am I drawing a blank on the Cowboys coach?
Why am I too?
No,
Landry.
not Jimmy Johnson. Landry.
Tom
Landry. You could talk about all those guys. None of their numbers compare to Bill Belichick and the dominance that he has had, and also none of those
He'll be viewed in the same ilk
as
10, 15, 20 years from
the
now.
way I put him also is he talked about dealing with free agency. He dealt with the original version of free agency. He dealt with them modifying it, and then he dealt with them modifying it again. On top of, they don't play football the way they played football in 2001. They don't play football the way they played football in 1987 when he won his first Super Bowl as a coordinator.
On top of all the controversies, all the setbacks, all the allegations.
I mean, yeah, you're talking like so. You talked about what did they do? Came back and just won a Super Bowl when they lost that one.
Mm-hmm.
What do they always do? They talk about they were cheated, right? They were cheating.
They were real underdogs.
People
their entire
about,
tenure they've been underdogs.
People were talking about they were cheating in those first 2 Super Bowls, so they come back and win a third one. He gets hurt. What do we say? Undefeated season. They lose. Come back. Win a Super Bowl. Tom Brady told he was too old. Wins a Super Bowl. Tom Brady told he was too old, and they draft a quarterback in the 2nd round. Wins a Super Bowl the next year.
Trade a guy.
Goes to the Super Bowl. Won the Super Bowl the year before. Got a guy traded after he was there for 5 years. All they do in the Deflategate, what do? They took the balls away at halftime. 37 points in the second half. Won the Super Bowl. Like this is what they go and do. The next game they won the Super Bowl. This is what they do. To your point, you put something in their face. You tell them that they're having a problem between Robert Kraft, Bill Belichick, and Tom Brady. They go to the Super Bowl in dominating fashion.
How much of a problem is it going to be if he gets another Super Bowl? All right.
Over/under.
I wish.
Over/under.
You wish you had part of those problems, huh?
Over/under 1 more Super Bowl Tom Brady plays in after this one.
Man, trying to think just because of how the AFC is. I mean, I can't say that. It is competitive. It's more competitive than. Well, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It has the Jaguars. It has the Chiefs.
One.
Maybe if Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback next year.
I'll give you one.
Steelers.
I just have to by default.
Are you putting Tom Brady as a underdog?
We're just gonna have to describe how miserable I am with all this Philadelphia stuff. Retribution will come. Patience.
I have
is
to
key.
put it over
Patience
just because I don't see the end soon, but it's got to come. We've been saying in the next 3 years for 6 years now, right? So
this is worse than trusting the process.
So it's got to happen at some point.
Yeah.
I would say he plays in at least one, if not more than one more. But
I'd say one. I'll give him one.
At least.
And that's ridiculous.
Agreed.
but especially if they do lose, you know he's gonna come back. You know he's going to. You know he's going to.
All right. So enough about the Patriots.
Are you sure?
Eagles can win because. All right, I'll give you the reason. Nick Foles is 34 for 39 on RPOs this year.
On what?
Read pass options.
Shout out to all of you that were right there with me, because nobody knew what the hell that meant.
The Patriots?
Nobody watching this show at this point in time, knew any idea what the hell RPO meant.
The Patriots are 5th
RKO,
worst.
Randy Orton, like, what is he talking about?
The Patriots are 5th worst against RPOs.
God, you want
Not
any
that
more ridiculous stats out your Philly ass?
Not that Belichick can't adjust and won't.
RPOs. I'm pulling out stats that aren't fucking kept in the record books. Okay. Any other reason?
Yeah, I feel like the Eagles' front four.
They're just a special team.
No, I think that the Eagles' front four.
They're not a special team. I'm glad you finally admitted that. Because all I've been hearing is, this team is special, man. You just gotta believe. This team is special.
They're athletic. They
special.
Look, if you took away the quarterbacks, and obviously it is absolutely impossible to take out Tom Brady and Nick Foles in this. But if you were to just not grade those two and grade at the rest of these temes, the Eagles would have the edge. But you can't take out Tom Brady. He's what, like a 5 to 6 point swing there, right? Minimum.
They were special. The Eagles are special.
And Belichick is another 3 to 5 point swing there, right? So that's the difference there. As good as Peterson is and as aggressive as he is, you're still looking at Belichick and Brady on the other side. And I would think the way that they can win, though, is you got to get pressure on them. With your front four, you can't blitz a whole lot and get pressure. If you have to blitz, Brady will tear you apart.
Time out, pineapples. Aren't you the one that got on me a week ago or 2 weeks ago, whatever, when I was saying, well, when that was brought up about the whole you got to get to Tom Brady, you were like, well, duh. What? Okay.
Without blitzing.
That's not happening.
I understand that. And so if they can't, Tom Brady will be able to pick them apart all day. I'm not disagreeing with you. Yeah, I make fun of people for saying that all the time. The book is not. It's again. I always laugh at the book on Tom Brady is just the book on on the base book of quarterbacks, just getting his face, because there's nothing else that can stop Tom Brady except the only thing that stops every single quarterback. This is the only kryptonite to Tom Brady, sadly.
So that's real cute that you're saying that all they need to do is get in his face without blitzing. Okay.
No, I'm not saying it's like super like. I'm saying that I think there's the opportunity for them to, because they have deeper front seven when it comes to the front four. Like they rotate 7 to 9 guys more than most people. Now here's the way the Patriots will offset this, I assume. They're gonna probably run hurry up, which also means Tom Brady's gonna throw it 50 times. Usually I would be excited if I heard a quarterback's gonna throw it 50 times against the Eagles. I don't know if I'm super excited to hear Tom Brady's gonna have the ball in his hands 50 times against the Eagles.
Tom Brady can complete 35 of those with 4 touchdowns.
If this is a close game, I'm talking like if we're looking at like a 17 to a 20 to 17 game or a 24 to 27 game, Tom Brady throwing it 50 plus times. Because of the hurry-up offense, they're going to need to, because what they're going to want to do is keep that front four on the field. They don't want the Eagles to be able to rotate, because that's what the Eagles do. They cut you to death with how deep they are at that position, at both those positions, D tackles and D ends. Also, I mean, no turnovers is obviously the easy, everyone will say, and I'm looking for hopefully a big...
Nick Foles, homie.
Right, and I'm also looking for hopefully a big special teams return of some kind, or special teams play of some kind, or else it's going to be really hard to beat the Patriots. Obviously, I'm not really...
So basically, I've heard everything...
Reinventing the wheel here on this one. Nick Foles has to play the way he played in the second half of the Atlanta game.
I've heard everything, but how is your offense going to do, bro?
Well, the weapons around Nick Foles. You got to have Jay Ajayi. You got to have LeGarrette Blount and Clement run pretty well. You got to be catching your balls. Torrey Smith, Zach Ertz, and Jeffries. You got to take your chances.
If you're catching your balls, good call.
If you're because they dropped. I mean, Torrey Smith dropped 2 passes last week, and Aguilar last year dropped passes.
They still dominated.
They did, but it's still this is the Patriots here. This is the Super Bowl. This is
So how does the offense look? I'm hearing a whole lot of you got to do this. Are they going? Do you think they're going to look good? Or are they going to look like they did last week? What doesn't mean that they're going to win. Are they going to look like they did last week?
What I'm expecting them to do is be aggressive. I'm expecting them to still throw it deep. I'm expecting them to still, flea flicker. They had 2 flea flickers last game. I'm expecting them to do weird things like that, swing passes. They're going to have, the weird handoff to Aguilar when he's on the shift.
Does that translate to points?
I hope so. I mean, yeah. Look,
I'm asking you. I'm not asking you what you hope. What do you expect this offense to do against that defense?
I think that as long as
eliminate Tom Brady and focus on that defense versus that offense. What do you think y'all going to do?
I think the Eagles can absolutely get to 24 points, and I don't know if that's enough to win.
That's
but
generous.
I think they can get
on their own. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, look, that offensive line is going to be able to dominate the defensive line of the Patriots. If that offensive line does not show up, there is zero chance. But the offensive line going to be what it looks like from what the Patriots have done all year long is they were not able to stop the run. The Eagles' offensive line is pretty good. Not saying the Eagles' run game is great, but they have two really good running backs and the third who's really fast. But also then, it's just going to be the RPOs, the repass options, then it has to turn into Nick Foles making the right decision. He has 34 to 39 times. So you expect it to continue that way. But again, Belichick, what is the Patriots' best thing that they do? They adjust better than anybody else. Not just at halftime.
Guess what?
They have 2 weeks to prepare for this repass option.
And he gets 30 minutes. Well, usually these years, it seems like it's longer than 30 minutes of a halftime show. So
yeah, absolutely. It's much.
45 minutes.
45 minutes for the Super Bowl. The thing that I also wanted to say is I'm not one of these Eagles fans that is forgetting who's on the other side of the field. There's Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. And
I could roast all of y'all that I've been hearing all week.
I mean, everybody is telling me about, you got to believe, like you were saying, and that kind of stuff. And they're going to do it. They're going to do it.
You got to root for your team, but at the same time, draw it back some. Just a little.
Here's
in fairness, the closer Eagles fans that I know, you,
right,
Joe, the more realistic crew that I'll put out there have been that way, and that's cool. You're still rooting for your team as you're supposed to.
You have to.
But it's been just like people I'm working with, just people on social media that I don't interact with as much. Like the obnoxious stuff that they're saying. It's just like, dude, this is why people hope that y'all fail because of this.
What I was gonna say about that is when people say that to me, I just look at them like. Look,
Tom Brady.
Don't be so heartbroken to understand that this man has literally come back from down 28-3 last year in the fourth quarter to win the Super Bowl. Like this is Tom Brady.
Of course, it's going to be heartbreaking if
you
lose.
This is the right. Of course, no doubt. I mean, I live and die by this more than most people do.
Right.
But I'm not going to be unrealistic to thinking, man, like. It's just, they have in the bag. They're the better team. Because do I think that athletically, overall, as I said, if you take out Tom Brady and Nick Foles, do I think the Eagles are the better team? Yeah, but you can't take out Tom Brady and Nick Foles. Tom Brady is there. He is worth 10 points.
Because literally at that point, I would say Eagles defense, and then they have Gronk, and that would be it.
And shutting down Gronk is going to be, they got to get Malcolm Jenkins.
You're not shutting him down.
It's going to be impossible. You got to get.
He's going to have over 100.
Absolutely. You're going to have Malcolm Jenkins. You're going to have Nigel Bradham. You're going to have Graham. You're going to have all of those guys really lock down on him and make sure, and then you have Cooks, and then you have Amendola. We could go on all day about the weapons that the Patriots have as well.
So about Cooks.
So back to getting pressure with your front four is going to be the key. But Tom Brady does what better than everyone else? Gets the ball out in under 2.5 seconds. Better than anybody else. That's what makes Tom Brady. 2.5 is the number you're looking for. He gets it out in under 2, and that is what you were looking for. That's the indefensible thing that Tom Brady does. That's everyone else's kryptonite. So, picks.
As much as I want to clown Philly, which I can and I shall, and especially if this continues, and we're just going to let this man keep living as he keeps holding up signs and disrespecting my house and yelling stuff and doing a bunch of stuff. If I put my ignorance to the side, right, I will say, y'all overachieve.
Yeah.
So that's what's up. Good for y'all. Even if you lose, I mean, it's like, yeah, we lost, but I mean, you went farther than you were supposed to. So that's what's up. Your team this year has been solid. It's exceeded expectations, especially for me. Especially post the Holy Ginger.
The Prince.
Yeah. He's not funky. That's a Prince joke.
They played that at media night, by the way. There was an in-between. Morris Day and the Time actually played the in-between because the Patriots did their thing and they left. And outside of the stadium where they were having it, they had a little outdoor NFL party. And at the NFL party, it was the Morris Day and the Time. And he sung, the last song they sung is, my name is Prince. And I am funky.
That's funny.
And he just kept yelling.
That's such an obscure song.
It was a good 30.
Nobody picks that song.
It was only for 30 seconds, but they played like a bunch of Morris Day and the Time stuff, and then the last song was give it up for Prince, and then they just started yelling, my name is Prince, and they only played it for, like I said, a good 30 seconds, and then they cut it, and they waved, and they got off stage, and then the Eagles came out for theirs.
I like the B-side hit.
It was a hit,
but it was a B-side hit.
So I was actually really excited because I was watching, my girlfriend and I had a couple things to do, so when I got back to watch Media Day, because I'm super excited, I'm watching every little thing I can, it was just the end of the Patriots Media Day, and I was like, all right, well, I'll watch that tomorrow, at least I get to watch the Eagles. Right. And I was like, what is this? And they cut to like a band, and I was like, I thought the Eagles were coming on. It says like Eagles, 24 minutes away, and I was like, well, what am I going to do for 24 minutes? And I actually got up to go do something, and I hear Morris Day in the time, and I was like, oh, never mind. And I sat down and I watched. It was awesome. I'm really glad that I caught it when I did. And
I'm really glad that they won that song.
I tuned in perfect timing, and it was. I was really excited that they ended too, because I didn't. I listened to Prince obviously, but I don't listen to a ton of Morris Day in the time by themselves. I didn't recognize most of what they played, but when they put that on, I was like, oh, my name is Prince, and I started singing it myself. I was like, yeah. And then they just started yelling it. They actually didn't sing any verse or chorus or anything.
That's the only part of the song.
That's all they did. They did it for a good 30 seconds. They let it like play for a good 5 or 6, and he would dance, and then he would say it again, and then he would dance, and then he would say it again, and then he would dance. It was cool.
Oh, that's fantastic. So y'all overachieved. Y'all done very well.
Yeah.
As much as it sickens me, Mazel's top for that situation. That's what's up. And if I'm being fair, your defense does have the potential, to go back to your original point, to
disrupt.
Not dominate. Disrupt's a good word for it.
That's all you can do. You can't dominate.
They could disrupt the situation. But
it's Tom Brady.
1, 2, it's Philadelphia. And I mean, are you kidding me? You think ever in my life when I pick Philadelphia to win the Super Bowl? No. You know what I'm hoping for? I'm hoping. Well, I can't say that. I'll say it off the air. I'm hoping that it just like halftime happens and then like the show's over if y'all are winning. Like it just needs to end. Not end a victory. Like it just needs to be a draw and like it just needs to end. Like I'm trying.
You can never have us.
And I don't want the building to implode. I'm saying
you can never have us
flood or something.
I understand.
Everybody can swim to the top and live, but I cannot live.
Obviously.
I cannot live in a world, in a Pennsylvania world, with ignorant ass people like this, with ignorant stuff in my house, on my freaking signs, with my dogs out. Woof woof. I cannot live in a world where the Eagles win a Super Bowl. So obviously, duh, Tom Brady, the GOAT, TB12, go vegan, go 17 rings, go the greatest of all time. You are the man. You are holier than thou. Fuck Breezes. It's all about Bradyism. I don't know. Patriots, please.
Dwight's got all his money on this. Dwight's betting the house on the Patriots right now.
Yes. For all that is right in the world.
So the way you have seen, I haven't shaved my beard. I haven't cut my hair. I'm wearing the same hoodie. I am all invested, obviously, on this Eagles luck train.
Can I pee on it if y'all lose next week?
Nope.
Okay, just checking. That's the extreme rate I was going to go with it, so...
I mean, obviously...
Plan C.
I picked the Patriots before the season. When we were talking about the issues that were happening at the top. Remember, during the wild card weekend, and the Patriots were off going into the next weekend, and going into the next week, we talked about how the Patriots had the problem at the top between Brady, Belichick, and Kraft. And I asked you the simple question at that time: who do you think is going to still win the Super Bowl? And we both said the Patriots.
Reluctantly, because I wanted somebody else to win.
Right.
I do not now.
But we understood at the time that still the favorites were.
Yeah, definitely. As much as I didn't want to admit.
I have made it extremely clear that anything that the Eagles do after Wentz got hurt was a cherry on top. To your point, they have exceeded expectations. This has been one of the funnest sports seasons I've ever been a part of in my 27 years of being super invested in 5 different sport teams where I could live and die with, which I do, sadly.
A lot, huh?
Yeah, because I've only won it once. And so, yeah, 60 minutes away.
Flyers got one.
No, not in my lifetime.
No, I'm tripping then.
They've lost twice in my lifetime in the Stanley Cup.
All right, there we go.
Eagles have lost once in the Super Bowl. Phillies have lost twice in the World Series, 1-1.
At least you're making the championships.
Sixers have lost one. Notre Dame has lost one.
And you're right. It sucks, homie.
Bro. It's not good. So, we're dying. We're praying. We're hoping. Obviously, I'm rooting for the underdogs. If I have to gun to my head and make a pick, I'm not going to be an idiot here and go against Tom Brady and Bill Belichick.
No, Skip Bayless. I'm gonna need you to make a decision.
Like I said, if you're going to put a gun to my head, you're literally going to tell me I have to die if I don't make a pick. I'm going to tell you the Patriots.
He's got the Patriots.
But
So you got the Patriots.
no, I'm rooting for the E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles. We're riding out with the underdogs, my man. It's all about gangrene. Jalen Mills with the dyed hair. You got to hope that Nick...
Young? I don't know who Nick is. Who's Nick?
Big Foles. Yep, that's what they call him in Philly. The rumor goes when he was first around in Philly after the 7-touchdown game.
He is the original Messiah.
There was a question.
He's the great white hope.
There was a question on a radio show of one of the current Eagles players at that time. Who it was a dumb question. They asked who has the biggest
Dick.
and
You can say Dick. Nobody watches the show. We're not getting paid. YouTube screwed us over. Dick. Big Dick. Nick Big Dick.
He said Nick Foles. So now they call him Nick Big Dick Nick is what they call him now.
Big Dick Nick.
That's what they call him.
Big Dick Nick when y'all got rid of him?
I mean, you know how I felt about Nick Foles from the beginning, so I'm riding out with the guy that
How big was his dick when you cut him?
I think is a super. It's a whole system thing with Nick Foles. But I want to ride the system.
I can get a whole lot more raunchy. Alright. I hear you.
You want to wear one for the end of the show? Dwight?
Sure.
Fly, Eagles, fly. On the road to victory. Fight, 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 fight. Eagles,
Go
fight.
Brady.
Score a touchdown. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Hit 'em.